All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Founder Institute Middle East event. Very excited to have you with us, and very excited specifically for this event. This is dear and close to my heart because we're showcasing, and our basically speakers today are basically alumni who graduated the Founder Institute program, which is not something easy to do in general. For those who are not familiar with Founder Institute, let me just give you like a quick intro. My name is Mohammed Santarisi. I'm the regional director at Founder Institute Middle East. We consider ourselves as the world largest pre-seed accelerator that is based in Silicon Valley, and by definition, this gives us the ability to position ourselves as a global network for startup and innovation across more than 100 countries and beyond. As I mentioned, we do have operations in more than 100 countries, 250 cities across the globe, and we have the world largest today, the world largest pool of advisors, mentors, and investors across the globe who are actively working with our founders everywhere. The Founder Institute is based on four main pillars. The first pillar is basically we exist to build and help build startups in multiple ways. So far, we've accelerated more than 7,000 companies. Today, they're valued at more than $30 billion. The second pillar is we always try to empower and activate ecosystems where basically there is no focus on the pre-seed specific stage. So that's where we come in and try to add value to that specific stage. And when we say pre-seed is a bit broad. Pre-seed means a founder with only an idea wants to experiment with or curious about entrepreneurship, up until a founder with an existing company, a full-fledged team of 15 people, maybe with product traction and revenue. And we do have, of course, through our program that we've been developing through the last 15 years, we have different tracks for each stage. So whether you are only have an idea or have a company or an MVP, we do have tracks that fits exactly the learning process that is tailored for your journey. The third pillar, sorry, is where we help also building funds. So far, again, we helped build and develop and support, accelerate more than 7,000 companies. What about the other side of the table? Who is going to invest and fund these companies? So today, through our sister company, Desai Group, we are helping building funds, and we are on a trajectory to activate and help launch more than 1,000 VCs across the globe. So far, we hit the 400 firms or VC firms milestone that are managing more than $4 billion. And the fourth and final pillar is basically we always help corporates, governments, entities to build innovation, working with NASA, Accenture, USAID, and so forth. Founder Institute is not an easy program. It's not a typical program. We always try to select the top founders, starting from the application phase. There is what's called a DNA test, an entrepreneurial DNA test. This test is not about the idea or the market or the potential of this company. It's all about the founder and the entrepreneurial traits in those founders who apply to join our programs. And so far, utilizing this I would say, data, we were able to, again, accelerate more than 7,000 companies. We have hundreds of exits, the $1 billion plus unicorns or valuations and exits. And of course, a big also portfolio of startups who are on a trajectory or a path to a unicorn. And again, working in this field for 15 plus years, we've seen it all, right? We've seen companies, and we help companies in the health tech, in the supply chain, and fintech, travel tech, and we have great examples today with us who joined the last cohort we had in 2023. At the same time, the biggest or a lot of, I would say, leading investors from across the globe today are investing in FI companies. We're talking about mega funds like SoftBank, Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, 500 YC, and more than 600 investors who are today investing in our companies. Our secret sauce, I would say, is again the network of advisors, mentors, and investors who are actively entrenched into our network, who always try to support and help our entrepreneurs. We have 35,000, as I mentioned, domain experts, and each and every one of these people are here only the main purpose is to support the founder. And again, from everywhere and in every possible domain, at least we can cover so far. Every founder who graduates, part of when I say graduates, by the way, because not every founder who joins the program is able to finish the program. So whoever finishes the program gets access. One of the perks that we offer is $2 million plus in perks with leading partners like Amazon, Carta, Google, Shopify, Stripe, and so on. I'm gonna wrap it up in a bit, but just to give you like an idea, how does it feel like, or what is the structure when we say someone who joins our program, or what is the journey that they go through? They start with what's called the core program, basically 3.5 months program, 14 weeks, different sprints, different business building blocks, and so on. Maybe our panel today will talk about that more. Once you're done with that, that's, I would say, only 25% of the value that we can give. Once you're done with the core program and you graduate, you can unlock a lot of the other stuff like our network I was talking about, enrolling in other programs. We in the Founder Lab, something called Funding Lab, basically is a fundraising specific focused program for those who wants to close either $100,000 up to $10 million. Also, we give you access to our venture network that basically those are investors who are exclusively investing in pre-seed and seed stage in our network. Yeah, this is again how we'd like to show that we always try to support founders throughout their journey as a lifetime support that we give for our founders. And the beautiful part that is, this is not a theoretical program. This is not a learning program. This is more of a come and build. If you do not build, you basically do not qualify to be a Founder Institute alumni. So you join the program because you want to build a company rather than just learn how to build a company. There are tons of other programs out there who teach you how to build a company. This is not one. The second component is utilizing our network. You always have constant feedback from, again, domain experts, whether it's go-to-market, pitching, financials, IP, whatever it is, that domain or challenge, because at the end of the day, this is one of the most challenging journeys, being an entrepreneur. So we have the right network to support you. And finally, everyone is accountable at FI. So me as a director, if you do not like me, you can rate me, you can give me a bad rating. If I don't like you as a founder, you also rate the, you're welcome, Ahmed. You also rate the other founders. The founders rate the mentors and the mentors. So it's all data-driven. And it's all basically run through those kind of ratings that you do. And based on that, we keep on dropping out founders who couldn't continue going through the program. So if you are interested and you have a company, an idea, and you want to launch a global company, this is, I would say, your platform to start from. Again, pre-seed is a big word, so it could be literally an idea up until someone with 15 people who are working on a product, generating some revenue, some traction, but they haven't raised $200,000. This is a good fit, I would say, for you. I'll drop my LinkedIn in the chat in a bit. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We also have what's called info sessions, where you can always book an info session with our HQ in Silicon Valley, ask whatever questions you have, and they're happy to answer you. So without further ado, I would like to now introduce our panel. This is the main event, I would say. But before I do that, please remember that this event is also about you, the attendees, everyone here. So please feel free to ask your questions, whether these questions were for the founders or for me myself. I will be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Chris, Dr. Ahmed, Mohanna, thank you so much for joining us. Very happy again to see you, and I'm very excited to kick this off. Let's do like a quick intro about you, what you do. Maybe Chris, how about you kick it off?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Muhammad. So yeah, thanks for having me today. I'm Chris, and I'm the founder and the CEO of MEND Technologies. One of our products is Jetto. Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. This is actually my second startup, through which I joined Founders Institute. And yeah, my previous startup was based in France, which didn't go very well, but we ended up selling it, so the outcome was good. But I have a design background, so I'm originally a designer. So yeah, I'm a designer based in Amsterdam now. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, we landed with FI kind of by chance, and yeah, we'll tell you more about excited to tell you more about our experience with FI, our honest experience. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. Dr. Ahmed, would you like to say hi and just give us a quick intro?
Thank you very much for inviting me. And also, let me give you like a brief about myself. I'm not going to talk about my expertise. I'm going to talk about someone who had no experience about business before. I'm an assistant professor at university. All my knowledge and expertise about how to design educational solutions. And then I struggled for a couple of years trying to figure out how to convert my ideas into a tangible product in the market. And also, I guess I joined Founder Institute in the same day of launching. A friend of mine, he told me, yes, you can go now. And I just emailed you, I guess, like 1 hour before the kickoff meeting. And then you said, okay, well, so join. So basically, I do my company called Just to Learn, and our main product called Newme. And I would say that we have started the company from zero until we now are getting tractions from the market. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, and happy to have you here. Mohannad?
Yeah. So hi, everyone. My name is Mohannad Waddah. My background is software engineer, and I am the founder of Chat. We also joined Founder Institute. I graduated from Founder Institute last year, and our application enabled the vendors to create their own apps and enable the customers to collect all the vendors' apps on one platform. I'm proud to graduate from Founder Institute because I learned too much during my journey. I also start the Founder Institute with strategy and goals, but during the program, my strategy and my goals little bit changed, and it's be better than when I started. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, and we're happy to have you here. Everyone, please prepare your questions for our panel today, for our speakers. We'll once we have a 15 minutes slot for a Q&A. So feel free to add them to the chat, and we'll collect them and ask our speakers. Let me start with this. Let me start with Chris, actually. At what stage did you join Founder Institute? Was it only an idea? Was it an MVP? Again, if you can just tell us a little bit more at that point when you basically applied through the website.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were so Judo already launched when we kind of applied to Founders Institute. So we had the product launched. It was already live. We were getting some traction. We actually, right, the moment that we applied, we just made a very big iteration on the product. So we moved from one business model to a completely different business model, and we applied at that time. And the reason we did it is because so we don't have we didn't have kind of investors at the time, but we had advisors and some early investors who kind of put in some money to kind of support us building this, and they were really it seemed to us that we really understand product, but we didn't really understand business, and how to build a business. We understood how to build a product, but not really a business. And we applied to several programs, of course. We got accepted to most of them. But yeah, eventually we found that FI suits what we were looking for the best, basically.
Okay, can you shed the light more or add some color to Jiddo? Just tell us a little bit about what is Jiddo and what made you decide to work on basically the travel tech scene. I know a lot of the answers to these questions, but for everyone who's joining us here,
Yeah,
give
absolutely.
about it.
So, Jiddo, in a nutshell, Jiddo is an AI local assistant that helps you explore your country. And we do this, with an AI engine that helps you discover new places and local spots around you, where you can use to save it, that you can save to lists where you can collaborate with your friends on, and obviously use AI to plan your trip. This is kind of Jiddo in a nutshell. This is not what Jiddo started with. We started as a kind of a local experiences marketplace. I used to travel a lot. So before moving to Amsterdam, I used to live in Dubai, and I used to work in consulting. So I used to travel a lot in different countries, and everywhere I used to go, I wanted to, kind of discover the local culture and get to understand the local culture, but I only had a few hours. And most of the time I ended up spending those few hours, trying to find what I wanted to do online instead of actually going there and having, making the most out of my time. So that was kind of the reason that led me to develop this. But yes, the initial iteration of marketplace of guided experiences didn't work. We moved to that model, and throughout the program, I definitely, I'm happy to say that, throughout the program, we really solidified the business aspect, and we continue to do this. We're on to new ventures now, and looking at new markets. We knew how to reach out to new people, but yeah, we'll talk about this.
Amazing. I think basically when a founder knows the exact layers or digs into the exact layers of a problem, I think this is where you'll be able to build the right product rather than starting from the solution and then trying to figure out how this solution would fit the problem, right?
Yeah.
But again, you felt the pain, and you decided to fix it yourself. I'm going to use this as a segue to Ahmed. Ahmed, tell us about a bit more about, just to learn or know me exactly. How did this idea came about? Why did you decide to do it?
Okay, well, because it's my field. I mean, education and technology. It's my main field. So from time to time, the idea of being entrepreneur is hitting my head. So why not to create something that is really special? Especially that part of my life, I was working at the Egyptian Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, and during this period of time, I saw a lot of different solutions. and I had some critiques about them. I didn't feel that they were really fit to go to the market. And then I decided to start my own business in the field of creativity, and this is based on market research. I didn't do it. I didn't know at that time it's market research because I was trying to investigate what is the best field to start with. And I found that the skills is a very important one or important topic to hit, especially in the pre-university stage. And then I created a prototype for an application based on augmented reality and artificial intelligence to assess and develop children's higher mental skills and creativity. And at the time that I joined Founder Institute, I had at that time only the prototype. And at that time, I was sticking to the product, and I thought that this is everything. And then when I started to join, and actually, I met a lot of mentors, and they were always talking to me about business terms like competitive advantage, market research, and all of those things. I didn't know anything about what they are talking about. And then a friend of mine, he told me that you have to join the Founder Institute because he thought that it has not only theoretical information, but it has like sharing knowledge. You will learn from actual business, I would say, owners. They are not just simple mentors who knows, or trainers. And then it came up with finally with a product in 4 countries with and now we are investigating a lot of investing opportunities, and also we are making good revenue now, and we reached the break even in less than 6 months.
Wow, amazing, amazing. What would you say the biggest challenge you faced in the last 6 months?
Would you please repeat the question because the internet goes down?
What would you say the biggest challenge you faced throughout the journey of launching from the prototype to 4 countries, launching a product in 4 countries? What was the biggest challenge of that journey?
I would say I had like a kind of two challenges. One at the beginning is to convert from being like an academic to be a business owner, and to think of the business instead of product. And actually, this has been already solved during the program because they were always talking to us about business. And it was, for me, it was like interesting that some of people, they of the mentors, they didn't dig deeply into the product itself, but they were asking for numbers. They were asking for proofs. And this was during the program. And then when I came to the market after graduated from FI, the most challenging part was the decision making, because you have a lot of I mean, sometimes more than one solution would be suitable, more one decision would be suitable, and we have learned already. And actually, we were lucky to have this point addressed during the program, when they told us there is no one way to do things. You have to be resilient. You have to ask a lot. You have to have in the ecosystem, ask mentors as much as you could. And actually, it was the first one is how to take decisions, especially that I was always afraid to take a decision that maybe I might lose maybe equity from the company because I made like wrong decision. So it was, I would say, taking decisions. And the second point, and this is really important also, and this is a good advice. And at the time of getting the session about the psychological aspects, being depressed or the ups and downs of the business. And during the first 6 months, it was like horrible for me. Sometimes I feel, okay, well, this is the very, very good product. And another day, what I'm doing now. So I had to get back to the university and keep teaching. So it was also like a challenge, but it was lucky that I was lucky that we already have addressed those major points in one of the big sessions about how to control the or to address the moments of depressions and even of happiness. How to be like moderate always when you are in the market.
It is, as they say, it is an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, sure.
All the time. Amazing. I have tons of questions, by the follow-up questions on that. But let me jump to Mohanad. Mohanad, tell us a bit more about when you joined the program. Where was SHAP? Where is SHAP today also? And tell us why did you decide to follow this path?
Yeah, so when I saw Founder Institute, actually I searched about it, and previously I don't think there's some meeting like this. So I start to talk with anyone join Founder Institute through LinkedIn or anything else, asking them about Founder Institute. And after that, I have results that this is the right place because I have the tools here. I know that this program is not a magic program when I go through, so I will end with fundraising and everything will be fantastic, not like this. It's environment provide you all the tools that what you need, the knowledge, the network, and if you use these tools in the right way, so you will make this result magic results. So it's depend on you because all the tools is there, and the most important things for any startup is the network. They have to know more people and be connected every time. One of things that I learned or the challenge that the fundraising in Middle East, especially, and in Iraq. So previously, I saw that I need to increase my numbers, make good numbers to have good attraction. This is my strategy before FI. But when I go to Funding Lab and I talk with many investors, I saw that my numbers is fantastic. It's very good numbers. It's not related to the numbers. But everyone I talk with, he is not interested in Iraq market. So this program made me know that I don't have to focus to increase my numbers in Iraq, because even if I make numbers X3 or 4, I will still not have attraction to investors. So I have to make another plan, and the gap is the Iraq market, because the investors say, you have a good numbers, you have a good startup, but we are not interested to invest in Iraq market. If I told them that, okay, but my product is not only in Iraq, it can be in Egypt or Jordan or any place in Middle East, they need the numbers. So I start to think about this and change my strategy. And I moved to Egypt to make some numbers and to have good traction for the investors. So this is one of the things, a major things in my strategy I changed during the Funding Lab and Founders Tutor program.
Amazing news, by the way, and best of luck on the expansion that you're doing. I know that it's already going in a good trajectory so far. But I want to follow up on what you said. How helpful would you say were the mentors at the program? And again, Dr. Ahmed also mentioned the mentors a bit. There are, again, at the end of the day, there are tons of people who basically come from a business background, maybe academia, but at least this is my opinion. Finding a mentor who can give you proper feedback, I think this mentor should be in the venture field, someone either an entrepreneur or someone who is advising technology startups, right? Rather than someone that works in one of the big four, right? What's your thoughts on that? And what do you think the best, I would say, value you got from the mentors we had in the program?
I talk with many mentors as possible in the founder program, Founder Studio. So I don't remember anyone I'm not talk with him. Because even if I have good marketing strategy, I talk with mentors if there is something better. And not only mentors, Chris and Ahmed, we also have discussion together, and we always I know them from the program, and we have always meetings and discussions, and so the what I mean, the environment is the best environment, because everywhere you can, if you use it or if you want to learn, everyone can learn. The founders with you, the leaders, the mentors, everyone. If you want to learn, you can get the best advice.
What would you add on that, Chris?
Yeah, I would definitely say, I mean, I would definitely second Mohammed, being surrounded by, by people who've been through this is one of the best things that you can experience, and one of the best things that you have to make the best of in this program. Whether it's mentors, whether it's the team at FI, and especially the other founders, seeing that whatever it is that you are going through, is being shared by other people as well. Other people are going through the same thing, whether it's building the right, if you don't have an idea yet, or you don't sorry, if you don't have a business yet, in a product, so it's building the right thing. Whether it's tweaking the business, whether it's growing the business or raising funds or whatever, then you will find that you're not alone. So there's definitely people around you, that can help you, and that are available to kind of share ideas, brainstorm. So I think that was kind of the most one of the most interesting things to me about the program, for sure.
Amazing. Ahmed, بدي أسأل عن when I ask about the most challenging parts going through the program. What would you say the most challenging part? Not after you graduated,
Okay,
basically throughout the 3 months.
sure. So I would say that I think if I was not focusing 100% on the program, I would fail to do anything. And I guess we have seen a lot of people who dropped because they are not giving much time. And actually, I also would say not to make people a little bit scary, but to make them aware about the program. There are a lot of work they have to do. They have to do by themselves. The program itself, it's very dynamic, very interactive. And as Muhammad said, if he didn't reach those people, he would never hear anything from anyone. So you have to take the initiative to talk to the mentors, to book the office hours. If you are afraid from something, or if you are worried about something, you can call the management team. And you have to dedicate time, and I would say between 2 to 4 hours daily, because this is your dream. I mean, it's not too much, by the way. When I talk about between 2 to 4 hours daily, it's not too much, because this is your dream, and you will never be able to make it bigger, to make it grow, unless you do the sincere work that you should do. Otherwise, you will never do anything. And especially that it's not also about doing things like robot, because actually there are a lot of things, a lot of helpful files that you are having. So when I started, for example, to write the business plan, after hearing like very, very great people talking about the business plan, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, when you get back to do the assignment, sometimes I found it challenging. How can I, in this early stage, to start thinking of something big like what they have seen? Especially some of them, they were already owners they were business owners. So it was quite challenging to free time to my dream. I will not say to the program, because actually it's my dream, it's my baby. So I have to find time for it. And the other challenge is sometimes the tasks were quite too much. But later on, when I finished, I found that I have a company. I was always struggling. How can I incorporate the company in just 2 weeks? There's a deadline, you have. But I thought now, I think if I didn't follow the schedule, I would never have a company. Today I was writing an email to one of the investors, and I was writing what we have achieved so far. And from the logistics point of view, the lower firm, the incorporation, the copyright, trademarks, the IPs, everything has been done during the program. So we have to focus more and more in order to be able to keep up with the program.
I love it.
Maybe just
Uh,
to kind of also to add on what Ahmed's saying. So the 2 to 4 hours that you're expected to kind of, where you should maybe want to spend, is basically not really on FI, but it's really on your business. So this is not something that you're doing. It's not a homework that you're doing for a school or a university or whatever, or a deadline that you have to meet with your for your company. It's for a company that you work with. It's your company. So the more time you spend, the better. It's like, when you go to university. I remember I used to teach at a university for a small period of time, and I used to say what one of my professors used to say at university, which is that universities give you 30%, but you have to go and take the other 70%. And in some ways, this is very relevant to what you will experience with FI, because there's so much information available that there's no way you can get all the information that you want in just a session that you do on a weekly basis. You have to, ask questions during those sessions. You have to ask questions after those sessions. You have to ask questions, on office hours. So it's kind of I did, before, I always used to say to my wife, and I still do, that what I am as a founder after FI is different than what I was as a founder before FI. And I say, and I honestly say this because the the experience that you go through and the steps that you go through in FI are not really things that you do for a program. It's really it's kind of a miniature example of what, of truly building a very good, solid, scalable, investable, and ready for growth business. So it's not easy, but this is what it takes. If you want to build something that's successful, this is what it takes.
I love it. We always see this kind of a trend throughout the program. So just for context, for everyone on the call, maybe like we receive like 500, 800 applications. We accept around 40 to 50 companies, and only 25% of those are basically able to graduate the program. So it's very intense. It's military style, but at the same time, when you graduate again, it's totally different world. Have any of you, the three of you, thought about dropping out or leaving the program between us?
To be honest, for me, that was never something. I mean, I think, yeah, the people, well, that kind of connects to something that when you told me, Muhammad, that we wanted to come, I really kind of wanted to say this, that if you make it to the end of this program, this doesn't mean that you have a very good startup. This means that you are a very good founder. And I'm not saying this because I made it to the end of the program or the people here made it to the end of the program, but I say this because you truly go through every single step, and you see this. I learned so much from the other people on this call. So from my end, there were so many times that were like extremely hard. Like, man, this is like, you know, more deliverables, more work that I have to do, more research that I have to do. So it was really tough at some points, but I never, to be honest, never considered leaving. I knew this was for the best. I know I'm building a business, so I have to go through this.
Yeah. Ahmed, Mohammed, have you thought about it?
So I consider the program is just like your startup. Okay, so why you will drop out? You don't know about this. You don't read about this program. You don't have information. So if you good founder, you have to make search before going to this program. You have to know everything, all the environments, all the information. And if you drop out because of the pressure or the load, so you will not continue in your startup, because the real founder, you have to pass all the pressure. And if you see the people or the founders that pass the programs, that the founders success in their startups, they continue their startups also. And most of the founders drop out in the middle of the program. The same founders, most of them drop out in the middle of their startups or the business. So because you either don't know more the information before going to program, and this is your mistake, or you drop out because of the pressure. And I think the business is have more pressure than the program. You have to manage your time and you have to continue to the end. I never think about this.
Doctor,
Happened for me, by the way, once. It happened once for me after 1 month, and I was struggling to. And actually, this was like a turning point, because I guess I met you, I guess, or Maher, I didn't remember, and you said no problem if you want to drop, but this is normal. And the problem was when I was trying to explain my idea, because my idea is quite innovative. We're talking about two different technologies, augmented reality and artificial intelligence, and I used to describe the project in a very complicated way. So most of the mentors, they didn't get the point. And then I said, okay, well, there's something wrong. I mean, not in the program, but in myself. And then when I attended the office hour, I understood that it is normal. And then I started to rephrase the objective of the company until it's only one short line. Everyone knows it from the first time. And I had the problem of my company is innovative. My company is innovative. It's nobody can understand it easily. And then one of the mentors, he told me that, listen, if we don't understand it for any reason, we will never be able to help you, or we will never be able to invest in the company. You have to make it as easy as possible. Investors, they are like businessmen. Sometimes they just need to make revenue from your ideas, and you have to be as simple as possible. And I was shocked when I knew that some people didn't know actually what augmented reality is and what does it do in education. And then I tried to simplify. But by the way, the reason of dropping down was actually because the depression moment that I always advise all the attendees to keep this in their minds, not only because of Founder Institute, but because the journey has a lot of ups and downs. And when I say ups and downs, because the ups, sometimes when you get some revenue, you might take also wrong decisions. You have to be a little bit quiet. You have to think reasonably. You have to be mindful. Do not take any decisions until you know exactly this is the right decision.
Totally agree. We're adding, by the way, we did that before, but we're now adding an official, let me call it, founder well-being component into the program itself, where you'll be able to book a one-on-one call with an expert who can just be like a punch bag, right? Take all of your thoughts, try to help you navigate this through, because it's tough. I would argue that it's one of the hardest, I would say, journeys for someone to build something innovative or to solve a problem for the humanity at large. I wanted also to ask, you mentioned the assignments, Doctor. Just to give everyone here, just to add some color for everyone who's on the call. Can you talk a bit about the assignments? What are those assignments or deliverables? How did those deliverables help you shape the company?
Well, so there were different types of assignments. Part of them like writing a business plan or business canvas, or maybe having like whatever something that you have to write, or maybe the financial plan. So everything that we get like after getting the session, 3-hour session, you go back to your page, you find a lot of templates, you find a lot of helpful links and videos. For example, assignment of incorporating your company. To be honest, FI didn't leave us alone. So they talk about the pros and cons of having your company maybe in the States or maybe in the Middle East. And then when you go to the resources that you are having on your page, we find a lot of resources, links to incorporation companies that might help you and so on. But this was part, and for me it was quite easy because I like searching. So I used to even read sometimes like tens of pages about the incorporation and the difference between them. But there were another type of assignments that I loved them a lot because they shaped my company. For example, one of them, you have to go and ask the people who are working in your field about why to use B2B, not to B2C, and list 3 pros and cons in each one. At the first time, I thought it was like, how can I ask someone who is having a company this question? But actually, I found a lot of people, 100% from those who I asked them, and some of them they working in the same field, they answered me honestly with reasonable reasons about why B2C is better or why B2B. So some assignments you have to go to schools, for example, in my field, and ask the person who is in charge in the purchasing why they buy and when they buy and for how much. So, and in that case, I wrote on Facebook or in LinkedIn, guys, please, I want to meet maybe school owners to ask them maybe in a 10-minute meeting. And the beautiful thing is, even the questions that I have to provide during the session was already there in my page on Founder Institute on my profile. So I had like 10 questions. So the first question is, if you have, do you believe this problem is already exist or not? Yes, no, why? For example, how much, if this exists, how much do you buy it? And then even how to go in a sequential way to precisely define the cost of or the best price for your product. It was there. So I would to sum up different types. Some of them about research. Some of them you take an action like incorporating companies, your company, like maybe talking to a lawyer firm. And some of them also like surveying people and having calls, dropping emails, phrasing emails. So it was like various types of assignments.
Amazing, amazing. We have 8 minutes or 7 minutes left. I'm gonna take a couple of questions actually here. Should my company be registered in Delaware or USA to get into FI? No, Ahmed. You can incorporate anywhere in the world. You don't have to do it in Delaware. We always recommend Delaware because at the end of the day, a lot of the investors favor Delaware because it's founder friendly and investor friendly. That's why, but we can definitely incorporate anywhere. We have another question here. How should one determine the fair share percentage for early investors in a startup during the idea phase, while also considering the percentages for future investors and the team? Who would like to take that?
Can I?
Please.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you, Mohsen, I think Mohsen left, but I hope he'll listen to the recording. But even for everyone else, so there's no right wrong answer. Whoever tells you that this is how it should be, I believe in this is kind of what I learned also from FI, is that there's no right or wrong answer. You definitely have to understand what are the best practices, and kind of understand what is the value of what is the value that basically this investor brings, and what is the value that your company has, and all of that. So these are all things that you will learn about during the program. So these are definitely not things that I think we can, anyone can help you with now. But yeah, it's something that you will have to assess, because it really depends. But what I would, and the reason why I wanted to take this as well is because sometimes building a business can be overwhelming, is overwhelming. It's not can be, is overwhelming. So you have so many things to consider. You have so many angles that you have to keep holding on so properly, so that you don't feel as if things are falling apart. And this is not easy. One of the biggest benefits of joining this program is that you will actually, so FI will actually help you steer your focus in the right way. So because you have so many things to worry about, and you have so many things that you have to think, you have to get right from the very beginning, which is not true. Things, there's a lot of things that take time. But make sure that whatever it is that you're focusing on, you're doing it correctly. And this is the biggest benefit of being part of this program, because every week there's a specific point of focus. And that will give you kind of a general picture. So now, for example, what we did is at the time, it was an old interface of FI. So we used to save everything offline as well, just in case it didn't save or something. So we still have the answers offline. And now we have an overview. I built this overview of all the different angles that we used to work on. And now what I do is kind of, okay, I look back at this kind of, it kind of, in a way, it's the single source of truth for a company. So you can't address everything at the same time, but you can pick one thing, and the one thing that will have the biggest impact for what you have now, or for the future. So look at it that way. Don't worry about every single thing. Take it step by step and trust the process. The process is hard. It takes patience. It's right what they say, that building a startup, you have to be fast, but don't be so fast that you actually trip over and ruin everything. Be patient and trust the process.
I love this. I actually wanted
Yes,
to
ma'am.
ask.
May I add
Yeah.
something? Just a quick point for how to evaluate the investor's share at the beginning, because I had the same thing. So it was very interesting story. The first, when I had the prototype, I was offering 10% for $20,000 US. And then when I started to work hard, now I started to offer them for 60,000. And I started to work hard, and this is 100,000. And now we are negotiating like $500,000 US. So now, to take a decision, now you are taking, someone is going to take part from your dream. So the best thing that he can do is why he is investing. For example, he is investing now to build a program. So can you build it yourself? Yes or no? If yes, how much does it cost? And does it really worth to have like 10% or 25% or 40% from your company? So you have to evaluate the work and monetize it, and then you can have like an idea, does it really good for you to have this or not? Maybe I can do it, but it might take like a year instead of just a couple of months. And I would suggest highly to monetize every work, especially in the beginning, before they start to have like a prototype or MVP in the market, because it is easy for someone to get like a big share in the ideation phase. But when it's prototype, it's totally different. When it's MVP, it's totally different. And when you have the alpha version, it's totally different. And when you are receiving $1 US as a revenue, shares are totally different.
100%. I second that. I want to end with this. Chris, you said trust the process, right? As a piece of advice. I don't know if you want to add something on top of that or not, but Mohammed, what would one advice, if a founder wants to join the program, what would that advice be for that founder or startup?
Yeah, I ask them to, the time is the most important thing. So Founders Institute will learn you how to do the 1, 2, 3, 4. Without Founders Institute, you make it 4, 2, 3, 1. And this will cost you too much time.
And money.
Yeah. Time is money.
Yeah. One piece of advice, Doctor, for the future founders.
Listen.
I
Just
love
listen.
it. I love it.
Do not argue. Listen, because actually we were not right at the beginning, especially in the beginning phase. We have to learn how to listen. Do not argue. Accept all the feedback. Think they are right until you prove they are wrong. As Chris has mentioned, there is no one way that you can go through. So you have to listen.
Amazing. Chris, anything more than trust the process you wanted to say?
No, I really loved what Ahmed said, because I saw this during the program with some founders, and I still see this until today, how many entrepreneurs don't listen and think that they are correct. So I think this is an awesome advice. So just take this time with FI. Definitely go in. You're definitely giving in part of your company. So we knew that this is gonna happen. So we knew that we're basically giving away 2.5%, which basically we could use maybe to get some funding from somewhere, or get some money, or maybe give it to an advisor or somewhere. But even look, at the time, it was we had very long discussions with my co-founders around this, whether we want to do this or not. But eventually we decided that it's worth it, and I'm so glad that we did, because this is basically the time where this is kind of consider it as kind of a period of your startup journey, or your entrepreneurial journey, where you are learning how to listen properly. These are people who, especially with Muhammad, Maher, and you will meet some mentors more than once along the way. So these are people who will learn about you, who will know you, who will learn about your business, who will know your business, and who have seen so many businesses before. So this is a period where you, more than anything, will learn how to listen, and know, to just basically how to navigate all those different opinions, because you will listen, you will hear several opinions, and you just have to make it work for your benefit.
Amazing. A great advice and a great ending for this session. I really enjoyed this. I would go for hours and hours, but I want to respect everyone's time. So thank you again, Chris, Dr. Ahmed, and Mohammed, for joining us. Really enjoyed this again, and we'll stay in touch. And thank you everyone who joined this session today. If you are interested to know more about FI, just visit fi.co. Or just ping me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Again, thank you again for joining us, and we hope to see you very soon.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Good luck.